the cloud. Hello, I'm Heather,
I'm Cardyn.
and welcome to the Bitchy Quill, a podcast where we talk about publishing from a feminist perspective. We also do guest mini interviews, and today we have author Elm Jed, who has a new release coming in October for their series, My Dear Watson. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me today.
We are so happy to have you. And Cardyn always asks the first question.
I'm ready.
Yes. So, how did we meet you? How did we connect the first time?
I think it was over on it was Instagram, right? Yes.
Maybe?
Well,
Could
we
you,
are on Instagram pretty
yeah,
regularly.
yeah,
I think it was there. It was that or Threads. And
So
I was like,
social media. We
yeah.
we met through
it was
social
social
media.
media. Yeah. That's the
Okay.
big
We
basis.
we do
Nice.
meet a lot of people through social media.
Yeah.
And not everybody is from, and we're in Maryland, the DC DMV area for the Right Women Book Festival. And we don't there are people because of the our first year was 2019, and then there was the pandemic
Mm,
in 2020, and so
yeah.
then we sort of expanded to all virtual, and that kind of opened up
I did.
avenues around the world, and so we had international people on virtually. But since then it's just been nice because I know how to use all this, like everybody else, technology in order to communicate with the rest of the world. We had to.
Yes.
So it's been lovely to connect. Are you what region are you in?
I live in Ohio, so it would have been
Ohio.
one heck of a drive and
Right,
Yes.
right.
commute.
We've had folks do it. We've had folks come from Florida and California and Pennsylvania and New York. So you wouldn't have felt left out. You would have met somebody probably from another state, but that is
Probably, yeah.
quite a haul.
Right.
I'm originally from Pennsylvania. Last exit on the turnpike, right before Ohio. So that's where I'm from. So, um,
Yes.
and it's always nice to have, but this is opens up the ability to have people who either can't make the commute or they want to be involved, but they have another event that weekend because we don't require people to do live things. So I'm really glad that we were able to connect with you that way. That's so nice. My question that I ask, so I get to ask the next question, and I always ask this because it's one of my favorite questions as a writer and as a reader. And I think it's a question that a lot of readers want to know when they get a chance to talk to an author, which is um, why why did you want to become a writer? What made you want to become a writer?
I wanted to become a writer to help get the daydreams out of my head onto paper, but to share stories, especially since a lot of my stories and writing kind of emulate or mirror the my own life experiences or what I've learned from other people's experiences, and being able to like help process what I've been through within my life, or even just in that moment, what I am, it helps me process what is going on personally, what's going on. So being able to share those stories, because I've learned that I felt less alone by reading those stories growing up, and wanted to continue that kind of work as an author of helping people not feel as alone within the stories, hopefully within the stories that they read that I've written. So that's my biggest thing, of just being able to connect with others and feeling less alone within those stories.
So you're weaving real life experiences into a paranormal romance sort of world.
Yes. So either like try to weave it into the paranormal world, which is within like my one Mafia Murder and Mayhem series of like a mirror image of like a non-America at times, or even within a contemporary and having to play within those rules of whatever
Okay.
that I've learned, hopefully within my life, or what I'm about to learn within my life.
Okay. All right. It's
Mm,
always good to have an outlet. I was speaking to another author the other day. She said that it's good therapy to be able
very good therapy.
to rewrite some, especially romance, where you can go back and have something that didn't go so right. You can write it so that it is right.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe that it's funny instead of heartbreaking, right? Like,
Yeah.
Healing up the heartbreak. Yeah. And
yeah,
I think that that's why some people connect is they recognize there's so many kinds of love stories, but a lot of them have similar notes. And I think that we all um, can recognize that kind of thing. So yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna need
Thank
to
yeah.
You
That's
go,
exactly.
Yeah, I got
okay,
you. Get some water.
get some water.
Oh, I know how that feels when you're
Yeah,
like you
I have
taking a
I always have one of these guys in my drawer because it happens to me too.
yeah. And it never happens like before you hit record or, like it never happens at a good convenient time. It's always when you're like, "Oh, I had this great thought."
Uh, how are we doing? Yes?
Like pollen come through, and now like
Mhm.
my sinuses are just like, we don't like that. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes it, and the weather's so nice, but you can't leave the windows open because then you wake up and you don't feel very well the next day.
Right.
oh,
Mhm.
exactly.
All right. Um,
Sorry
so
about that.
that's
No, no, no
okay.
apologies necessary.
I was kept almost sneezing in the last. I was making so many faces. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm making faces. I keep feeling like I'm gonna sneeze. It was pretty funny.
Ah, the
I promise
joys
I'm
of
not making faces at you.
the joys
Like
of allergy season.
Yeah.
like it's not you, it's me.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I like
No,
your
but
nails.
yeah.
Thank you.
They look good. They look real good. Oh,
So earlier, when you're talking about your a little bit about your writing approach, it made me think of different things that researchers have said about fiction, in particular about developing empathy and expanding your worldview and all that. But more specifically, who or what do you feel have been like your biggest writing influences?
I would say one of my earliest influences was definitely J.R.R. Tolkien because of just character development
Mhm.
and giving people like a chance to do better. And then later on, a lot of it comes from movies, in all
mm,
honesty. So
mhm,
watching like classics and older classics, how they kind of interweave with that and
mhm.
trying to pinpoint to one
That's
specifically is
okay.
actually really hard for me
That's all right.
because
No
Are
there's
you a
like,
pressure.
visual writer? Like, do you see it in, like, I see it in my head as it unfolds. Is
yes,
that, yeah.
I will envision my books almost like a movie in my head. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's almost encapsulating, grabbing from what um I'm just like intaking. Sometimes it's even music at times to where I feel like I have entire chapters or part of my books to where it's like this was really inspired by like this one album. And then other ones are like this movie of another kind. But I
Do you
think
have
like definitely
playlists? Do you have writing
oh
playlists?
yeah, I like my own personal playlists. So it's like that's for me. And then I playlist for my readers so they can go ahead and listen to
Yeah.
for the vibes.
No, that totally makes sense, and it ties into your earlier response about getting the daydreams out of your head, so that makes sense
Yeah.
that you're a visual writer.
Very much so. And I didn't realize like not everyone can do that. And someone was like, "Oh,
Mm,
I can't visualize." And I was like, I
I
can.
know.
what?
How do you plan a garden bed? How do you, like,
Right,
I mean, how do you, I don't know how you cannot picture something in your head. It just is so foreign to me. But obviously, people get through the world and they manage to,
Yeah.
they have their way of doing it. And I
right.
think that that kind of diversity is interesting to me because, I mean, I can picture the way a room's gonna, like, what a room will look like with a certain color or a story or whatever. But I know there are people who can't do that. And I think maybe a lot of
Yeah.
writers are able to do that, but I know there are some that don't. They just write, this is how it's gonna go, and they write it down, which is fascinating. I wish I could spend a day like a person like that so I could see what else I notice, in the world.
Mm,
So what is your current project that you're working on?
I am currently working on the final book of the My Dear Watson series. So we're in that final like
Mm,
editing stage for it, and that's
mhm,
My Dear Leo. It is the fourth
mhm,
book within the contemporary suspense series. I am at the point of feeling very bittersweet to where I'm like, I'm glad to move on from the project, but at the same time, you don't want to let it go. But
mhm.
you have to learn how to let go for those projects. Then after that, I'm not quite sure. In all honesty, I'm hoping for like a bit of a small break to be able to just think about what I want to go ahead and do next.
so tell me a little bit about the My Dear Watson series.
The My Dear Watson series is what I like to say it's my spite towards 50 Shades of Grey, due to the misrepresentation for the BDSM and kink community, but also just the representation of mental health, especially within men's mental health as well, but like in general. So it is a story that follows specifically one character, but couple within her POV. It's Autumn, and she is a barista within New York City, and she ends up taking a coffee, meaning basically tripping while trying to save a businessman from not being completely covered in coffee, and she gets covered in it instead. And while most people would probably end up complaining, she starts laughing. And for some reason, he's very turned on by that. So it turns into this adventure of these two, of this hotel mogul and this barista, kind of learning through their own fears and trauma and just things around relationship to be able to start learning how to trust each other, while having very realistic and honest depictions and conversations about mental health, PTSD, and how one might end up dealing with that. So that's what I'm going to do without giving spoilers for those who may not.
Well,
Okay. Love
that
it.
was a hook.
Do you have
That was a hook.
so what is the first book in your, if somebody were to start the series, what is the first book in the series?
The first one would be the My Dear Watson. And for those who might think that it's off of like Sherlock Holmes, it's like, it's not. That is the pet name he ends up calling her all the time. So
Okay.
My Dear Watson. But that's
Gotcha.
the first book you would end up starting with.
Is that a lightsaber lamp behind
Yes.
you?
Yes, it is.
I've been watching Andor.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
yeah, oh, it's really good. And I just can't believe that that corporation that has that specific series would be pulling the stuff that they're pulling right now. But that is it's an excellently written story of resistance. So it's
Yeah.
and I'm a Star Wars girl from way back. So these newer series are new to me, but I never did
I
finish The
mean, same,
Mandalorian.
if you can read that or not.
Oh my gosh. You know,
Same.
I was about 7 when Star Wars A New Hope came out, and I had long dark hair, and she was the first long dark hair heroine I'd ever seen. And so, of course, I had my little space buns, and I would pretend to be Princess Leia. That I might have been closer to 8, but 8, somewhere between 7 and 9, I was.
Mhm.
And then, of course, I've just been a fan ever since. I cried when General Leia came on the screen.
Same here. Yeah.
I didn't expect it.
Yep.
I just started sobbing when she stepped off that ship. So I love, so in other words, and so I like your lightsaber lamp. Is that all? Said
Thank
all that
you.
to say I like your lightsaber lamp.
Thank you.
And next question, now that I've hogged up so much time, it's your turn, Cardyn, to ask
Okay.
a
No,
question.
I was enjoying all of that. So what is the best way readers can support you, as in where's the most effective for you, like the way they can pick up your work or leave reviews? A lot of folks, of course, it's still the Amazon KU world, but if you sell your books on your website or otherwise, and like or Kobo Plus or anywhere else, you like people to consider picking up your work. And is there maybe one of your books that you're feeling like is an unappreciated gem that could get some more love? So start wherever you feel comfortable. Like, do you have a newsletter? That kind of
Gotcha.
thing.
One of the best places to honestly support my work is going to, my books are in a bookstore called Salient Bookshop,
Mhm.
and you can end up getting signed copies of the My Dear Watson series that is there. That bookstore is all indie authors, all indie titles, and they are amazing to work with. They were the only bookstore that like took a chance on me 2 years ago,
Oh, great.
and just kept up with them for the last 2 years. That's
Nice.
honestly the best way. And then there's like 2 other bookstores I'm in. The Nest, I'll end up being in the soon, and then also the Spicy Librarian that's out in Denver, Colorado. Uh,
Nice.
Okay,
even
great.
though
If
they,
you send me those links, I can put them in the description too.
oh sure, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll try to remember to do that. I'll put that
Yeah,
on the
okay.
Um, but honestly, like indie bookstores that I've put my own books in and worked with them, is the best way to support. You get better royalties, you get a better way you get to support other bookstores as well who are starting off. And then as for like keeping up with my books and release dates, you can follow me with my newsletter on Substack, which is the same everywhere else, just finding Elm Jed, the
Okay.
author, or just
Gotcha.
following me on Instagram.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
So that pretty much covers the question I was going to ask, which is about where you are online. You got a newsletter, do you hang out on Insta or TikTok or anything like that?
I am on TikTok. It's actually where I kind of really started my like readership. So my
Mm.
most readership came from TikTok and then into Instagram. And then I also have a Patreon with you can look me up as the Weird Witchy Aunt.
I love it.
So what is that about? Is so that the Patreon is like a paid content where you write short stories or something, or what is on Patreon?
So Patreon, I have like a combination of where that is another place people can end up getting my signed books from me if they want to. It's almost kind of like a book club, meaning you can have like one book shipped to you like once a month as long as you let me know which book you want to have. It helps me kind of keep an eye to keep an idea of what stock I
Yeah.
have. Within that, I also sometimes will end up releasing early information, what's going on within uh publishing and stuff. Sometimes there's a lot. I will also end up publishing like behind the scenes, what it's like being an indie author
Oh, nice.
as I went from like only being on Amazon to then going a little bit wide on my own and kind of telling the process of that and the hurdles one might need to take in order to get onto other platforms.
There
Yeah.
are a few hurdles.
Oh yeah. And then there's some short stories. I do witchy book reviews, getting back into that soon. And then trying and moving my way into self-narrating for just my Patreon for the first book
Mm.
of Vinny the Vampire and me, and just narrating for my own audio. So
Vinny the
until I'm able
vampire.
to,
Oh,
yeah.
I just want to know Vinny because his name's Vinny and he's a
He-
vampire.
It's Vinny the Vampire and me. He's a mafia boss, but he's a good mafia boss. He's a good vampire.
I love
Well,
it.
he tries his best, but that was my debut novel as a romance author. So
Oh,
Nice.
so Vinny the Vampire Me is a romance.
yes, it is.
Okay,
Almost
very
all of my books are romance. So
Yeah,
okay.
I
So
like it.
paranormal, shifter, monster, romance,
yeah,
basically. Yeah.
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 Oh, all right, I love that.
It's good
Cardyn, do
stuff.
you have anything else? You looked like you wanted to ask a question.
I know, but okay, so I'm trying to like let me hold it for our another conversation because it won't keep it a mini-sode
Oh,
because everything she was saying I was like, oh, they were saying I wanted to
I was
say.
like, there's a question coming. I can
I
see
know. So I'm trying
you had
I'm trying
question
to
face.
I'm trying to stay in the
I know
parameters.
we're not really good about the exact time thing. We're actually pretty bad at it. I guess we'll get better as this is fairly new, the podcasting thing. I mean, we have things in the work. I'm trying to make a studio in the back of the house and like, but I'm the kind of person that I always want everything to be perfect before I do it. But
Yeah,
in terms of the podcast, because I started looking into equipment and I was researching people's setups and their visuals and aesthetics, and I told her, I was like, I really want to do this podcast, but at this rate, with all the research, it's going to take months. Like, and I was like, what do you think if I just buy a mic and we just go for it and just
just
do it
jump
on
in.
YouTube for
Yeah,
now?
just jump in.
Just jump in.
Jump in, and then learn
We
along
just
the way.
jumped.
Jump
Yeah.
in.
Yes.
So we're learning as we go. And one of the things we have to get a little better at is, if we're going to say an episode's going to be an hour, which is we try to stick to 45 minutes to an hour. Sometimes I have
Yeah,
to, I could tell I'm going to be busting some things in too sometimes. So, but we're getting better and we're going to have people. And when it gets a little short, we've learned to go, we're going to have you back. We're going to have you
yeah,
back because we have more to talk about with you. So,
Yes.
um, so thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you, uh, as Cardyn would say, contributing your considerable talents to our book festival and weaving your energy in with that. And we both thank you so much. And as Elm Jed, please go find
yes.
Elm's books at all the places that'll be in the links below. And
Yes.
if you can get it at an indie bookstore that they are in, please pick it up at an indie bookstore because that's good for Elm and it's good for the bookstore. So, and
And
we
other indie
totally support
authors.
that.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. We appreciate it. Bye.
Thank you.
Mhm.